Before I get started with the story, let me give a shout out to Dark Visitor on Discord for sending me this story coming from Bloomberg. Now, you probably are like looking at, what is this on my screen? What is this chart? Well, this is actually a good thing that you're looking at. It says Black business resurgence. The number of African American entrepreneurs is rising the fastest. So they have them color coded. Starting from left to right, the orange represents Hispanic business owners, the gray is white, blue Asian, red, or it's like a red, like a dark orange, dark orange, red color, which represents Black people. Now, if you look at the chart, it starts on a decline and then it starts with the uptick. So May 2020, everybody was on a decline, but Black people was on a decline the fastest. But then if you look at August, everybody was on a decline, but of August of last year, everybody was on a decline except Black people. If you look at it in this little space right here, Black people were the only ones that was on and up and up. Then November hit. Then now you have Hispanics finally started to come up. White people were still in a decline. Asians were in a very heavy decline. And the only people that was on the rise were Hispanics and Blacks. If you look at February 2021, Hispanics fell back down below a decline. Whites are still in a decline. Asians still in decline. And then Black people, they felt like right on that border where there really was no increase or no movement. May, now you have Hispanics came back up. White people still in a slight decline, but still below in the decline. Asians are on the line. Black people completely shot up. And then you look at August, where Hispanics have now increased tremendously. Whites still on the decline. Asians still on the decline. But if you look at this bar right here, Black people literally obliterated every other group. That is because they said Black business owners are up 38% in the U.S. from pre-Wove levels. Basically, as far as Black business owners go, we are the fastest group of business growth since before Wove, probably since before Wove started. Like, look at the difference. We were the lowest as far as a decline right here to ended up being the highest over here. A difference a year and some change makes from here to here. But this is the type of stuff mainstream media won't tell you. And as a matter of fact, one thing they also won't tell you is that Black people became the highest group of gun owners last year. I think I did a video about that last year where it said Black people had become the highest percentage of the largest group of gun owners in America amongst all groups. But they don't talk about that either. But that's okay, because I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this article coming from Bloomberg.com. After suffering a crippling blow early in the pandemic, Black-owned firms are seeing the strongest rebound among U.S. racial or ethnic groups. The number of African-American business owners in operation surged to almost 1.5 million last month, up 38% from February 2020, before COVID-19 hit the U.S., according to new research from Robert Fairley, a professor at the University of California, Santa Cruz. The ranks of Hispanic owners rose by 15% in the same period, while white and Asian entrepreneurs fell by 3% and 2% respectively. The surge in Black owners is probably the result of multiple factors, including business opportunities arising from the Buy Black movement that started last year and necessity-driven entrepreneurship by workers who lost their jobs. Fairley's research caught the public's attention last year when it found that Black owners' ranks plunged 41% in April 2020 from pre-pandemic levels. Data has shown that African American businesses were among the hardest hit during the pandemic, and many minority neighborhoods were late to receive forgivable loans from the federal Paycheck Protection Program. The number of Black owners began a slow, rocky rebound throughout 2020, but really began to take off this year, according to Fairley, who uses U.S. Census Bureau data. In July, their ranks were up 28% from pre-Wove levels, suggesting a sustainable rebound. The previous month was high, so it seems like there's something real there. Even if some of the new entrepreneurs are people who lost their jobs and were forced to find other sources of income, it's overall positive that they are starting something new and not sitting on the sidelines of the job market as so-called discouraged workers, the researcher said. Still, the data may not be as upbeat as it otherwise appears, Fairley said. It's not clear how much money the business owners are making since revenue data weren't available. Nationwide, the number of business owners rose by 2% in August from before the pandemic, Fairley's data shows. Now, I'm glad they put something out there like this because they will have you to believe that black people were just so lazy and all this and that and the third. Meanwhile, the numbers don't lie. The numbers are projected right there for you on your screen, letting you know in plain, I would say black and white, but it does have some color, but you know what I mean, that black people are doing the damn thing in the midst of a pandemic. See, when it comes to that term, getting it out the mud, that doesn't, in my opinion, does not pertain to any other group but us, because that's all we've known how to do. I think we as a collective, as black people, have that natural hustlers mentality, because we know what it's like to have to really scrape to get for what is ours, because many of us never had the opportunity of having something handed down to us or having anything passed down to us. So a lot of the times we've always had to start over and start from scratch. But we know how to literally start over and build it back up and build the infrastructure even better than what it was before. I guess you can say it goes back to our ancestry. You know, that's basically what our ancestors had to do. And, back then they had to get tortured to do it, and they did it for free. But it got done. Fortunately, they don't want to pay what's owed for that. But, we're working towards that. And it will get paid because the debt is owed and the debt has to be paid. But in the meantime, in between time, shout out to all the black entrepreneurs out there that's doing a damn thing, whether it's a brick and mortar type of business or an online business. I'm like this. If you got to file a 1099, that's basically, that's a business right there, because employees aren't filling out a 1099. So, or a W, or is it in a W-9? I think W-9 and 1099. So I applaud it. And like I said, this is something that lamestream media is not going to talk about, and I don't expect them to talk about it. But I'm glad that it was sent to me so I can deliver it to my audience. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments.